Professional.
It would be if you didn't have cars.
Are you real?
Oh! Oh!
What not?
He's not happy.
Looks like it might be real, I think.
I'm not sure it's been
Alright. Alright, mate, it's not going to get me. Anyway, that's the attack show. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll do a little more than that, guys. Welcome to the attack show, like I said before. My name's Eden, if you haven't met me already today. I'm one of the crocodile handlers, boat drivers, reptile keepers here at Hartley's. I'll be here for about the next half hour or so talking all things saltwater crocodiles. So the idea of the show for me, guys, is to give you guys a bit of an education on these amazing animals, what they're capable of, the adaptations they've acquired over millions of years of evolutionary history that make them the extremely successful predator they are in the niche that they fill in the environment, which is a semi-aquatic ambush predator targeting land-based prey. That's what they're good at. They've been doing it for a long time. Now, I have brought a couple of helpers down with me today, you may have noticed. So two of the other crocodile handlers here that also do this show. And their sole job is to back me up if something goes wrong. So as you can see, there's a small element of risk involved with the show. And what I've learnt through doing it for a while now is when things go wrong, which they do here and there, you mongrels are no help at all. You do nothing but film it. So sitting down over here in front there, I've got Jackie, and then down behind her I've got Beck. If you see them jump up and rush into the enclosure, you'll know something's gone wrong, which you'll generally pick up on pretty early. Now what this critter will do, he can't help himself instinctually. He's just going to be lurking off in this deep water, trying to set up into some kind of ambush position, trying to line me up basically, guys. And I'm going to try and avoid him. Now, here's a crocodile, obviously. He's a saltwater or estuarine crocodile, the largest living reptilian on the face of the planet. This one is not that big. He's only 3.9 metres, probably around about 250 kilos. Very much big enough to ruin your day, don't get me wrong. He's capable of killing an adult human. But in the crocodile world, he's not that big. He's one of the two species that you'll find here in Australia. The others are the freshwater crocs. They're housed next door. Now, they're endemic to Australia. Freaking creep. Down. Good boy. The aim is to train him how to do that. Kidding, it's a fluke. Yeah, so the freshies are endemic. These are not, guys. One of their names, and probably one of the names I prefer, is the Indo-Pacific crocodile, because they are found right through the Indo-Pacific. They are found right up to southern India. And the name saltwater croc causes some confusion because they don't always live in salt water. They can, but they actually prefer fresh water. That's what brings their prey in, right? That's the main opportunity they'll utilise to predate things is snatching things off the bank when they're coming down for a drink or to cool down. So there is confusion around that, and people have been killed thinking that they can swim in fresh water and they'll be safe. So I prefer Indo-Pacific guys. This guy does have a name, so we wanted to give him something unique, you know, something a bit different. He's been doing the show for a while, probably around about 15 years or so now, and you know, all the parks have the usuals: Chopper, Godzilla, Psycho, Maniac, and we're not above that. We got all them too. But this guy, Harry Potter, was really popular when, yes mate, he's keen today. He'll start to head in over here. He's spotted me and he's going to try and line me up. So I'm going to move over here. Yeah, Harry Potter was quite popular, and so we called him Hagrid. Like that guy off Harry Potter, he's got a big buffy head in relation to his body, and that is about where the similarities end. He is not a big friendly giant, which in your brief exposure you may have picked up on. And he is in here alone. He's not lonely. Crocodiles don't need a cuddle at night time or mummy to tell them that they love them or anything like that. They're quite capable of living on their own. And this guy, he had his chances. He lived out in that main lagoon where you do your boat ride. He didn't care about the chicken. He didn't care about the girls. He just wanted to kill other crocs. That's it. Hyper aggressive. Got what we call serious unresolved anger management issues actually. But they're an aggressive species, but this guy, he's elevated. And so what we done is we caught him, and sometimes they don't fit into the hierarchy, you know, so we thought we'll give him another chance down at the 11 o'clock area. He done the same thing, just proceeded to beat up all the other inmates. So we went, right, all the personality traits we're looking for the attack show. He can come and try and kill a zookeeper every day at 3 o'clock. You guys are happy, we're happy. He's not, because he doesn't feel happiness, but let's say he's content. Alright? Before I go any further, I'm just going to pop him up and give him a little bit of food. Quiet. Worried or something, huh? I hope that's him there. I'm gonna suck if that's him. For me, not for you guys. You get a real attack show. That's enough, dude. Hey, whoa, whoa. Oh, look at the teeth on this team. Nice. Give him a clap. He's just spotted me. What he'll probably do is duck under, just like that. Start to move in some kind of ambush position with probably bad intentions. They can get really close without giving away that location, guys. It's what they're good at. And a typical crocodile attack will all start with a behaviour that he's already shown us a couple of times, and he probably will show us again. And it's called the minimum exposure position or posture. You might have already heard of it throughout the day and potentially seen it as well. So evolution's benefited crocodiles and crocodilians, and their sensory arrays migrated to the top of their head, and it allows them to pop up 2% of the entire body mass, right? So they don't give away their location, and they don't really give an indication of the large reptile lurking beneath the surface. They're scoping. They can see, they can hear, they can smell, they can breathe, right? And they'll typically do it on the other sides of creeks, rivers, wetlands, whatever the body of water that they're inhabiting is. They're not super fussy. They're capable of inhabiting multiple environments. Must I say, what a professional. That right there. So just pop that nasal disc up, there it is. And that's all sensory array of the water. Now, they'll do this, like I said, on the other side. You won't see them. They'll be amongst aquatic vegetation, or they like to be under overhanging branches or in the shadows. And they'll see you guys, they'll definitely see you. When they're in that position, their sensory array is phenomenal. So this guy here, he has a 260-degree field of vision. It's got a 30-degree overlap. This gives him extremely good depth perception. This is handy for timing attacks, alright? So, when he's targeting things on the edge, if he shoots out a bit too early, potentially he'll miss his meal. Too late, he'll miss his meal. So it's helping him judge and time that attack, okay? His hearing, very good positional hearing. So he can very accurately locate where sounds are coming from. He's also got a really good sense of smell. But just more on the vision, guys. So the vision, not only is he able to see well in high light conditions, so like today, you know, say he's out there, it's a bit bright, where we might throw on a pair of sunnies, or you got to squint a bit, you know, to so you're not getting too much light. He will just close his pupil off. It's elliptical, and it'll just look like a slit. Then the opposite at night time. So being primarily nocturnal, this is also very beneficial. He can open it up extremely wide, allowing him to harvest the maximum amount of light from the environment. Then what they've got, guys, is something that we call a tapetum lucidum, which is, they're the only group of reptilians, crocodilians that is, not just this species, that have these. And it's a reflective layer of gel that sits at the back of their retina. And it bounces light back through the eye, so the photoreceptors get a second chance at picking up that light, meaning they see extremely well at night time, guys. Cats, dogs, other nocturnal species also have this. It's why if you catch them in your headlights, their eyes glow a little. And it's why you can eye shine crocodiles. Over here, mate. Now, so say, for instance, you know, he's doing this, he's up, he's on the other side, or his cousin is, you know, and I'm not being crockwise, and I'm not 5 metres back like I should be, like I am right now, you know. So I'm fishing, and I'm a bit too close, you know, to the water's edge, or I'm in the water. Big no-no, don't be doing that stuff up here. I've got a bit of an advantage, I know there's a crocodile there, you know, but you won't see him out in the wild. And he's on the other side, he'll spot this, and he'll see a bit of an opportunity for himself, and he might decide to duck on under and move on in to where he last saw you. As he does this, he's not going to create any ripples on the surface. So those osteoderms, they're the lumps and bumps on his back. Osteo is bone, derm, skin. They've got multiple functions. Armour, for when they fight, increased surface area, and they're also heavily vascularized, so you can push blood into them to help effectively heat the blood. They create rigidity in the back. When they do what we call the high walk, they don't sag in the middle because of this, but the most interesting one is they're all slightly offset, and it's believed that this creates a large countercurrent across his back. So as he moves through the water, the original water disturbance created with the snout will run over this countercurrent, hits it, cancels itself out. So he can move at speed just under the surface, and he won't break the surface tension whatsoever. Excuse me. Now when I say at speed, guys, the fastest they've ever clocked a saltwater croc was in the Daintree River just north of here, and it was travelling at 27 kilometres an hour, which is extremely fast. To give you an idea, guys, just how fast that is, the fastest that they've ever clocked, Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympic swimmer of all time, and believed to be the fastest human to ever live when it comes to swimming, the fastest they've ever clocked him is 9 kilometres an hour. Alright? The average human, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's no Olympic level athletes in the crowd. It's not because of your physiques, it's just, you know, a percentage thing. It's not usually close. The average human, the rest of us guys, we're doing 3 Ks an hour, right? So I'm sure with him behind you, you would punch out your personal best every day of the week. You're probably going to punch something else out too, I reckon. Don't worry about that though, you won't have time to be embarrassed because you'll be dead. So that's what you're looking at with them travelling, guys. So he's spotted you, he's come in potentially very quickly. Once he's under that sensory array I spoke of, it's out the window virtually, so his eyesight not thought to be any better than ours underwater. They've got a third eyelid known as a nictitating membrane. This will come across, but it's thought to just protect the eyes from silt, dirt and foreign matter, not actually enhance vision. It's translucent, not transparent. Hearing would be muffled. He closes them off so he doesn't get water in his ears. And he can't smell underwater. He's an air breather just like us, so if he tried to, his lungs would fill with water. But what he has evolved is a sixth sense. He is covered in pressure receptors. We call them ISOs. They're known as integumentary sensory organs. And it's the reason that the rule is 5 metres back, because he doesn't have to be visual like this to hunt you. And it's why when I stop moving, he's popping up to have a peek, because he's lost me. But if I'm going like this, like say I'm walking across the bank, guys, and I'm a bit heavy-footed, you know, he can feel that. And he can use that to target me in an attack, all right? So, you know, you come down to the water and start doing stuff like this, that's like ringing the dinner bell. Makes me nervous doing that, guys. So, say you're a dingo, a wallaby, a pig, you're lapping a bit of water up, you can use this. Just your tongue flicking that surface, you can use it to line you up. Now, once he's in proximity and he thinks he's ready to launch the attack, he's going to flick that big, powerful tail. It's long, muscular, laterally compressed, and it will push him out of the water. He'll come out like a torpedo, like I said, 27 k's an hour. He's going to have his mouth wide open, sweeping. You don't care what part of you he gets. He's not fussy. He's probably going to have his eyes closed. He'll pull them back in to the skull using... and then using his eyelids, they're quite muscular, he'll cover them over to protect them. He'll be sweeping around, and the second he makes contact with something, bam, he's just going to slam down those jaws. You heard the bites, right, at the start there? So that's air displacement, like when you clap your hands. But what you're hearing, yeah, get it out of your system. What you're hearing, guys, is the noise of the hardest biting animal ever recorded. So they measured a 5 metre salty in the Northern Territory, and he consistently bit down 4.5 to 5,000 pounds per square inch. The closest thing to it was a hippopotamus at 2,500. And to be fair to the hippos, they measured a female hippopotamus, guys. What? Why's that funny? Oh, that's not a sexist remark. Settle down, mates. Alright? That is because females are smaller, that's all. And the males are psychopaths, and no one was game to get near it and put a bite force gauge in its mouth. Jeez, gotta be careful these days, don't you? But if you're going to be fair to the hippos, you've got to be fair to the crocs, right? So a 5 metre croc's going to be 500 to 600 kilograms. They get bigger though. So they will get to 6 metres, and they will be in excess of a tonne when they hit 6 metres. So I would only imagine with an almost double in weight would be a substantial bite force increase, guys. So I might just try to demonstrate that launch out, maybe get a jaw pop out of him and see if he's keen to come out again. Coming up, dude. Launches out, grabs hold out, just like so. Right, then he's going to U-turn, just like that. Comes out, bites you really hard, back out he goes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back out he goes, guys. Then he's going to just submerge and try and drown you. Right? So what you're looking at once you're out there, I reckon, struggling away with this thing, you know, thrashing you around, maybe give myself 10 seconds till I'm taking on water, if I'm lucky. Now this guy here, in a stress-related dive, but you might ask yourself, what the friggin' hell would stress that thing out? Well, you're not going to give up easy, are you? You're going to be fighting, punching, kicking, you're going to be struggling to get away. His heart rate's going to be elevated. He's just obtained a large prey item. He's chewing through oxygen faster than normal, and in this situation, he's got 40 to 60 minutes. All right, in a relaxed dive, you're looking at just under 7 hours was recorded on a single breath from a freshwater crocodile in the Northern Territory, in the Kimberleys, guys. So you're not going to win that game. Now, once he's dispatched you or the prey item, whatever it is, he's got a couple of techniques he's going to use to try and break you apart. He'll also use the same techniques to get you off balance if you resist. He's been hunting large prey, or his ancestors have, for a long time. Even dinosaurs once upon a time, guys. So some of this prey is hooves. If they come out, they grab it, it digs its hooves in, and it's a pointless endeavour playing tug-of-war and a waste of energy. So what he'll do to get you off balance is he'll either violently shake his head from side to side, or he'll roll, the crocodile roll, or death roll. He'll also use this to break you to pieces. His teeth, they're blunt, conical. They haven't evolved for ripping, for like chewing. They've evolved for gripping prey and just getting it back in the water. But they do create a dotted paper effect, like when they're in you, because they're like that. So then he'll just lift you up and he'll just flick violently. The bit in his head will stay, his mouth will stay there. The rest goes flying. He'll swallow it down. He'll come in, get you again, repeat the process. Or he'll grab you and he'll roll as fast as he can, guys. I know it's all gory stuff, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is what it is. This is what they do. They're dangerous, and if you don't want to be in this position, just stay away from the water. But you've all heard of the death roll, right? You want to see it?
No.
Hell yeah, me too. So what I'm going to do, and I haven't let him get this yet, guys, this is just a bait rope, and this is a tool of the trade. It's a natural fibred bit of rope with a bit of cowhide on the end. So he wants to hold onto it, he wants to swallow it, all right? Make no mistake, he's not trained or trusted. You stuff up, he'll kill you. And he'll be back there waiting to do it all again tomorrow without any remorse, regret or sympathy for what he's done. So I'm going to just let him have this, and I'm going to manipulate certain angles of the rope, and hopefully it'll encourage his instinctual behaviour to roll or shake that head. Sounds good in theory, right? You can have it, dude. So he's got that, all right? Now you just give him a bit of resistance because you don't want to go out there. Oh. That's what he's going to do. Nice. Nice. Right, head shake for me now if you would. That's it. That's it. Good boy. Give us another, dude. Give us another. Head shake. No, you want to roll today? All right, just like that. Now drop. Drop. Slow motion. Just gonna let him sit, get his breath back for a second. Man, I'm unfit. All right. Right, that was some pretty good examples of the death rolls and the head shakes. Now, you don't want to be a part of that activity. Let's just throw a bit of chicken at me. That's a great idea. Thank you. Stitch up. One sec. Got yourself a little conundrum, don't you? What do you want? Bait? Eden? Chicken? Not sure, are you? Yeah, you don't want to be a part of that activity, guys. This guy's been doing this for a while too, so he's somewhat conditioned, okay? Somewhat conditioned. You get a big crocodile out there in the wild that's intent on turning you into a prey item. They are powerfully violent, to say the least, guys. Now, the stitch up that Jackie just done, we do this. Normally once you're asked, and normally you don't throw it at the person. But apparently she's angry at me for some reason. But this is just to encourage him to think about it. He wants to swallow that bait, but he also wants the chicken. And this sometimes speeds up the process, so it makes him try and swallow this. And when he lifts his head up, because his tongue's modified, it faces backwards. It's known as a palatal valve, it seals the throat off. And so to swallow, They usually have to lift their head up if it's a big piece of meat or whatever to get it down. And when he does that, I'm going to try and juggle it out with my ninja-like reflexes and get it out of his mouth. But it does take a while sometimes, guys. So while we're waiting, I've got a question, and it's something we think about from time to time. And that is, say I stuffed up, right? You know, had a few too many beers last night, my reflexes are off, he gets me, out I go. And I've got to make him let go. Like I said, I might have 10 seconds if I'm lucky. Any tips or techniques, anything you've ever heard of, guys? You've got another photo in here, please. Right in here. Should be a big one there, or did you throw both of them? Yeah, anything you've ever heard of to make a crocodile let go, guys? Anything you've ever heard of? Any techniques? What do you reckon? Poking the eye? Yeah, that's a good one. I've heard of some times where that's worked. Told you it's two. And I've heard of some occasions where it also hasn't worked and even made the situation a little worse, so that levels out my feelings about it. Nice, mate. Anything else? Stick your hand down its throat. Yeah, no. This is a theory, shall we say, right? So the theory is, the croc comes out and he gets you, and because you're in his mouth is slightly ajar. And so all you've got to do is you just remain cool, calm and collected. Right? Yeah. As he's taking you back out into the water, you just get your spare limb and you put more of your body inside the croc, right? You grab the palatal valve, you reef it down, his lungs fill with water, he lets you go, you swim back to the bank, crack a beer like nothing ever happened. It is a theory, but I've never heard of it actually working, so if you ever do get on the blower, mate, let me know, right? Anything else, guys? Anything else? No? Rightio. I do have a story about the eye gouge and it working, but it does have a sick, twisted ending. You just want to hear it anyway?
Yeah.
Of course you do. Sickos, my kind of people. So this one, this actually occurred up in Cape York, and it was a family, and they were up there on holidays camping, and they'd been fishing, right? And so they were obeying all the rules at first. So they say they were 5 metres back whilst fishing all day. They didn't have an incident. They were camped 50 metres back. That's another rule up here, and this is not from the water, this is from the high tide mark. We've got big tides up here, huge tidal movement. You go from the water's edge, tide comes in, your 50 can turn into 10. So it's always from the high tide line, but they were obeying this rule too. Now they'd had quite a successful day fishing, and they'd caught a few nice barramundi. They went back to camp, they filleted the fish, and they had a feed, and they decided they wanted to go crabbing the next day, so they would keep the fish frames. And so what they'd done is they put them in a bag and they tied them in a tree, which is an absolutely great idea. Definitely is a good idea, you know. Just not right in the middle of your camp. That's all. Take them away from your camp. Lure the crocodile away. But they didn't. They put it in the middle of their camp in the tree so the crocs couldn't get them. Like I said, good sense of smell. It's lured a crocodile out of the river. So this thing was just over 4.5 metres. So bigger than this guy. Comes up out of the creek, looking for the fish, can't find them, looking around, but sees the next best thing. A little old lady in a single person swag, camped up for the night. Now she had the doors, like the tent door thing, wide open to let a breeze in. He just went, you ripper, too easy. So he just cruises up, he grabs Nan, and the tent, and does a U-turn and just starts casually strolling back down towards the river with her. Right? which allegedly caused her a little bit of concern. She was slightly stressed about this situation, so she started screaming, obviously. And she's awoken a bloke nearby, also camping. He jumps out of his tent, right, in his undies, middle of the night, sees what's going on. No self-preservation whatsoever, just bolts over and dives on the back of this big crocodile, jams his thumbs in its eyes, and it works, it lets go. But it turns around and it bites him on the arm, right? Breaks his arm instantly. You heard those bites, like, so it snaps his arm, but he's startled it enough, and it actually flees back down to the river. They don't feel comfortable on land. They're more at home in the water, so it was enough to startle it. He was a hero, no doubt about it. You can't take it away from him. Absolute hero. The sick part of the story came a few weeks later. So they were on, Channel 7 on the news telling their story, and the woman, she's stoked. She's like, he's my hero. I wouldn't be here without him today. I've got him to thank for my life. But he looks a little bit disgruntled, a little bit angry about it all, right? And he's there with his cast on. And that's when they revealed this dude. He was an Aussie bloke, early 30s. He's jumped out middle of the night, risked his own life, received a broken arm, and successfully saved his mother-in-law. What an idiot. Sometimes in life it's best to just let nature take its course, guys. That's what we call plausible deniability. I tried everything I could, nothing. That's actually a true story, believe it or not. I know I'm making light of it, guys. But it brings us almost to the end. I am going to do a hand feed to this guy. I'm going to get him to chase me out the gate, try and get a bit of food in his mouth, not die. Before I do that, I'd just like to hand the show over to you for a few minutes. Are there any questions, guys? Anything you've ever wanted to know about crocodiles? If I've forgotten something, or my poor life decisions, anything? Yep, you. Careful on that rail, mate. I don't really care. Your dad's holding out to his fault. Yes, they do. There was a fatality recently in Lakefield National Park where a fisherman was taken off the bank by a 4.2 metre crocodile, and he was found 1.5 kilometres up that river, and the evidence was in the mouth of the male and a 2.8 metre female also. So yeah, they do. If given the chance, they're what we call indiscriminate, obligate carnivores. So they will eat anything made of meat, anything at all. They're not fussy, okay? So, when your parents tell you, eat your veggies, you'll grow up big and strong, they're lying. Look at this thing. Never eaten a veggie in its life. You ever seen a vegan? Joking vegans for that. Yeah. What was that, sorry? The troll beaches. Look, yeah. And I've said it on a couple of boat rides today. I'll never stand in front of a crowd and guarantee your safety. If you go out and interact with Mother Nature, it's a dangerous world out there, That's what makes it fun though, right? And the crocs aren't your main issue here in far north Queensland. So it's like, box jellyfish, irukandji, stonefish, cone shells, stingrays, bull sharks, tiger sharks, greater hammerheads, sea snakes. Enjoy your holiday. But crocs are on the beaches, definitely. 4 Mile Beach, there was a woman killed there a few years ago, but she was swimming on the southern end. She actually had dementia. She'd entered the water down near the mangroves down there. So yeah, the patrolled part, stay there, start swimming between the flags. If you're worried, no early morning swimming, no nighttime swimming, never be the first in, never be the last out, swim in the middle of everyone else. Mitigate the risk a little bit, If you stand back and there's people going, shoo, shoo. Anything else? A couple more. Yeah, mate, what do you got for me? There's no real like Crocodile Olympics where they're measuring that kind of stuff, but I can't really give you like an exact measurement. But what I can tell you is little crocs are capable of clearing the water and doing what we call tail walking, where they'll get right up, only the tip of their tail will be in the water, and they move their tail that fast that they'll actually sit out of the water and shimmy across. There's videos on YouTube, you can watch it, it's cool. Because they're plucking things out of trees, you know, to eat them. Once they get to his size or bigger, they're a lot heavier. So you're looking at about their back legs is about as high out as they can get. But they can jump, yeah. Especially coming out of deep water, coming up vertically, you know. One more question, guys. Anyone? Oh, yep, you, mate. You got.
They can hold their breath for about 7 hours. Do you know what their lung capacity is?
7 hours worth of air. You've just been trying to think of something to stump me the whole time. I don't even know how they measure that. So, anyway, on that note, I'm going to feed this thing. Yeah, I didn't go to uni or anything like that, mate. I just love crocodiles. If I missed you guys, I'll be hanging around for a few minutes, so come down and have a chat if you would like. But we'll get this going. He looks pretty keen. He's following me around. Back over here, buddy. Work with that. You got that gate, Jackie? Beautiful. Showtime. That's about all we're going to do for a crocodile show today. I hope you learnt something about these absolutely amazing animals, guys. Don't miss the other activities we have on today. So down the bottom of this hill, right, at 4 o'clock, you can go and feed, oh, I lied, they do eat veggies. Yeah, you can go and feed the world's most dangerous bird, the cassowary. If you don't know what that is, it looks like an emu dressed in drag. And then we saved the best for last. Up to the top here, guys, you can go to the koala talk. Absolutely riveting. You can go learn about the world's most boring animal. Other than that, guys, from me and the crew, thanks for coming and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm not going to die as we go on now.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Thank you.
Those big feet,